So my name is Arturo Bandinelli. I'm the director of the short film SOMA. SOMA is an experimental dance film which thinks about the origin of the human body. It's a kind of myth of origin of the human body. As any myth, the film, I think it's less about answering this impossible question around the existence of the human body, and more about formulating the question in new ways. It's part of a kind of creative effort to do something with the issues that trouble us most as human subjects, and one of them is having a body. The concept of the film was developed in collaboration with One Collective, which is a collective of dance artists based in London. So they asked me to collaborate on a project with them. The collective is formed by Claudia Wittmann, Esme Benjamin, Anna Mireles. So we met and started thinking about making some work together. And in particular, we started from a research question, which was, what is a body? And what can a body do? How can we think about it together? And how can we create a piece that deals with these questions via dance, movement, and film? So playing with different narrative codes and genres from the side of film, and different kind of movement styles and dance styles on the side of dance and choreography. And and it was a very interesting process because we all have very different backgrounds, and I, generally speaking, love working with dance artists and choreographers. I think they have an incredible way of transmitting ideas that are quite abstract and making them very embodied and sort of very emotionally relatable. I tend to be a little bit of an abstract thinker sometimes, and I think working with dancers really helps to bring me down to earth, as it were, and to make something that people respond to emotionally and not just from a, I don't know, intellectual point of view. So that's really how the idea was conceived. I mean, from the moment we decided to make a film together to the moment we started filming, almost 1 year had passed. I mean, that included, finding money to make the film, and, going through the pre-production. Then it took us about a week to shoot the film and about another 7 to 8 months to complete the post-production. It was a very long process. It is often the case when you're working with limited budgets, and also when you are sort of doing the film in a way that is not primarily for commercial release, and so you don't have the same deadlines as, say, when you have a particular kind of commercial release in mind. So it was, all in all, I think almost 2 years from the first time we sat down and started thinking about ideas to the moment we organized our first private screening. I think there are two. I mean, the film was shot in 16mm, and one day, one afternoon, the camera failed us. A lens failed us, so we lost an entire scene. And it was interesting because, on the one hand, it goes back to what I was saying earlier around the question of loss and gain. It was very painful to lose the scene, but it was very necessary for that scene to be lost in retrospect. It was not really a very strong scene, actually, and none of us had the courage to cut it because we were attached to maybe some aspects of the scene that were dear to our hearts. And so there is something around things going terribly wrong, but leading to some kind of positive outcome. And the more funny story is that the first scene, the sea, this was April in London, actually in the south of England, Hastings. So the water was really cold. I mean, it was also a very cold April day. We shot at sunrise, so it was really freezing, and we had this very long shot. So every time we called the cut, and our Stefano, our main protagonist, was in the water, we had people running on the beach with towels, and I was running around like a crazy Italian man on this beach, in and out of shots. It was the last day of shooting. The crew was reduced. It was crazy and not very well organized, but I mean it worked in the end. But I felt like I was back to making films like when I was like a student, or I was making films with my friends, where you're sort of a bit unorganized and very manic, and trying to do something without having planned it properly. So, but it was the end of it. So we pushed through, and Stefano was great. He was really very strong and managed to get the shots that we needed. I think with this film in particular, there was something around collaboration, which was very important to me. I had collaborated with choreographers and dancers and other filmmakers before, but in this case, I think the way this collaboration with Fan Collective unfolded was different than it had been before. I never really. It was constructed from the bottom up. And so we had to go through so many different stages. And it just reminded me that it is very important to trust the people you collaborate with, and to allow other ideas to merge with your own, and trying sort of, perhaps the way I see making films or directing now, is more around asking the right questions to people than trying to force in your answers. So there is a sort of meiotic. I mean, at least that's my new ideal of what a director should be. It's very difficult. It's much easier to impose answers than to allow the process to unfold based on the kind of questions you ask and the kind of conversations you engage with. It's very difficult, but it's something that I have started to learn a little bit through the making of this film. I'm very honored and to have been included in this year's program at ECU. I have been at ECU before, so I know the festival, I know Scott, I know the team is incredible, and I know that the selection of films every year is terrific. So the team and I are really delighted to be part of this year's festival, and we look forward to what's to come in the future. And we will try to come to Paris, and if not, we will watch the movies online.